Meanwhile, it now appears there may have been a tip from the Cayman Islands about a possible attack against a U.S. airliner, and investigators are looking for several men in Mexico who may be tied to the hijackings. Correspondent Carl Cameron joins us now live with the latest. Hi, Carl.
Hi, Brit. And that's not it all. There are a whole series of cases. This is a worldwide net that's being cast, and there are radical Islamic groups spread far and wide, as well as right here at home. Internationally, investigators continue to piece together what happened and if they should have seen the attack coming sooner. We have two cases that indicate the U.S. intelligence network might have even broken down.
Fox News has learned that two of the hijackers that rammed the plane into the Pentagon were on the FBI's watch list for a year and identified as in the U.S. preceding the attack. CIA sources say they were aware that Khalid Almihdhar was in the country some 5 days before the attack and notified the FBI. FBI sources say they checked it out at the time and were unable to track him down. Investigators call him a key player. Almihdhar has been captured on video discussing the bombing of the USS Cole. In addition, our Rita Cosby reports that another hijacker on the jet that hit the Pentagon, Nawak al-Hamzi, was also identified as in the United States by the CIA in late August, and the FBI was alerted. Another case involves this man, Zacarias Moussaoui, a known Osama bin Laden operative from Algeria. Intelligence sources say he visited Afghanistan and Pakistan earlier this summer. A flight student at several U.S. aviation schools, he was arrested in Boston August 17th with all sorts of literature about 757 and 767 jets. Investigators consider him a prime material witness.
And just in the last few weeks, investigators have put together evidence of terrorist cell operations in more than a dozen states in the United States, and more information is coming out literally every hour. In Canada, there are known Islamic radicals with ties to the Middle East militants known to be operating in Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. In South America, in such countries as Argentina, Uruguay, and Ecuador. In Europe, Islamic radical groups are known to be operating in a variety of countries, as well as the British Cayman Islands. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Africa, a hotbed of fundamentalism. Islamic militants in 12 different countries. The Near and Far East, obviously, one of the locations that is considered the epicenter of this type of militant radicalism. Finally, tonight, Brit, the search is underway in Texas and in Mexico, where there is information that a Muslim cleric known as Moataz al-Hallak, who is a known Osama bin Laden operative, is being sought for by the investigators for both the U.S. intelligence agencies, FBI and CIA. Back in 1988, he was brought before a grand jury in the U.S. embassy bombings in Africa and was not charged. FBI officials confirmed that they are searching for Hallak in Texas. Our sources tell us that he is leading a group of 8 other Islamic radicals in Mexico and that there is a manhunt underway with both Mexican and U.S. intelligence officials. And finally, the Cayman Islands. These stories come literally every hour. On August 29th, an anonymous letter was written to a radio station in the Cayman Islands identifying 3 Afghanis who were overheard by the writer of this letter to be planning an attack on the United States using airliners. That anonymous letter was sent by the radio station to law enforcement officials in the Cayman Islands. On September 6th, 5 days before, it was brought to the attention of the United States. Those 3 Afghanis they are being held in the Cayman Islands for questioning. They, too, are believed to be material witnesses as part of this.
Now, Carl, we're likely to find out as this investigation unfolds about all sorts of warnings that have been sent to law enforcement officials in various places. It may be well to put some of that in perspective. I mean, it would sound as if this report leads anywhere, as if we had now warning and plenty of time.
Right.
But is that necessarily the case?
Well, a lot of this has to be dismissed, and in fact was. There are frankly, some pretty loony cases. There was a 29-year-old Iranian from a German prison who apparently called in and said they're going to bomb the World Trade Center, and it turned out to be nothing of any great significance. But what seems to be happening is the U.S. intelligence community is already saying they did not have the resources to handle the influx of information. There are complaints within the community that they just don't have the manpower. They don't have enough translators. They don't have enough bodies to actually listen to all the intercepts. Our super-secret organization, the National Security Agency, does not have enough people to listen to all that they collect. Most of these tips that we've reported, all of these tips that we've reported on tonight, have resulted in people being detained on immigration charges, and U.S. government investigators say they want to talk to these people. There are many, many cases that have already been dismissed as irrelevant.
All right, Carl, thanks very much.